Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when you're finally viewing this message. So we are, as of filming this, we are 32 days away from our cruise. So hopefully you'll see this soon. But yeah, this video is going to be a little bit longer. It's going to have a little bit more information of what's coming up, embarkation, some of those little details. Now, I will also share some tips and things that I do or things that I and my family do. So, if you've already been cruising and you've got your system down, go for it. If you want to try to adapt some of my tips and think it'll work for you, absolutely. That's what I'm here for. I also want to give y'all all a sincere thank you. Y'all were the ones that came on board with me and took a chance on me by booking your cruise with me. So I really appreciate that. It's been a fun year, almost a year and a half now doing this, and it's been a lot of fun and I've been learning a lot. So hopefully y'all have the same feeling that for you first time cruisers, I hope this is not going to be your last cruise, because I don't think it will. But anyways, let's get into it. Let's go ahead and talk about your online check-in. Your online check-in is going to be available for May 23rd, pretty much at midnight, May 23rd. Now, unless you're platinum or diamond, you'll be able to log in or check in online a couple of days before that. The online check-in gives you the opportunity to select your check-in time and your check-in time at the port. Basically, when you're going to get on the ship. Now, I have some tips on this area that I'm going to share with you in just a moment. But one thing about this, don't sweat the time that you select. There's not a better time or a worse time. It's just what you prefer. Now, one of the things with the online check-in, one of the issues with recording outside is you get random people driving by. So your check-in time. So again, this is when you're going to be boarding onto the ship or going into the terminal to be able to check in your check-in for you to get on the ship. So what you'll do is select the time that best works for you. Now, the earlier in the morning, here's some of the pros to early in the morning. The earlier in the morning that you select, once you get onto the ship, it'll be almost empty, or you'll feel like a lot of more elbow room. Now, one thing to consider though is that as you're getting on the ship, there are people that are debarking the ship. So there's a lot more chaos going on up and down the street, in the parking lots, in the street. There's a lot more traffic. So again, you're going to face all the traffic. However, it is good that, once you get on the ship, it's practically empty and lots of room for you to roam. Another thing is that if you choose a little bit later, you're able to take your time in the morning, get going, especially if you've got kids you're coming with, you don't have to hurry up and rush out the door and be chaotic. Remember, this is vacation, so vacation starts from that morning. So what you can do is select a later time, and by then a lot of the traffic has cleared and there's not a big congestion of people coming and going. However, once you do get on the ship, remember that everybody that's gotten on the ship before you is also on the ship now, so it's a little bit more tight to get around. Again, there's no right or wrong, it's just what you prefer. And as long as you are at the terminal before 2 o'clock, those doors close right at 2:30 and they do not open. So as long as you get there before 2 o'clock, you're good. Again, don't rush it. Take your time. Enjoy the process. Now, whenever you're going to the terminal the day of, you'll want to already have got your parking. In this, you could just Google various parking lots, parking garages, cruise parking. There's lots to choose from, and if they're far enough, they'll have a shuttle. And I'll tell you one of my tips for this. What we've done in the previously is we drive up to the terminal next to the building. We get everybody out, all our luggage, everybody gets out, and then my husband drives off, and then he parks the car, and then we just wait, wait out on the curb. We just wait for him to come back on the shuttle. I've done it where we all go parking, and then we all drag our luggage, and then there's everybody's luggage being thrown into the shuttle and all of us getting into the shuttle. So it just makes it a smoother experience if you just have yourself dumped off on the side, and then that way it's just one person. Now, with that in mind, if you want to go ahead, get in line, go through and get checked in, go for it. There's plenty of space upstairs where you could still just wait there for your meeting, because you're going to have to wait there for your boarding group to be called. So what'll happen is if you have somebody else and you don't want to wait on the sidewalk for them, you can go ahead and go on upstairs, get checked in, go on upstairs and wait for your person. It's a lot cooler up there, as well as you have seats where you can sit down and have some fun there and relax before you get on the ship. Now, when doing your online check-in, you're selecting your check-in time. If you are running late or you arrive early, again, don't panic, don't stress it, it's fine. There's different lanes where you can go in. If you are on time, you'll go in one lane. If you're too early, too late, you're going in another lane. And then if you are like priority boarding, you'll have a different lane. One thing that I don't believe anybody has shared a need, but if you are wheelchair bound or you need walking assistance, there are also some employees that can just put you on a wheelchair and then push you up, and they'll stay with you the whole time, and they'll just push you up onto the ship. That's a really good thing. If you have a certain medical issue or something, you have to remember it's a lot of walking to get through the terminal. So even if you're doing fine, you want to make sure that if you have any concerns, there's a lot of walking, even just to get on the ship. So online check-in. The online check-in, you're getting your boarding pass, you're getting your luggage tags, and you're also, getting your time that you're going to be checking in. This will also be the time that you'll select if you're going to be doing a passport or birth certificate and driver's license. You have to have one or the other. Your passport, if that's all you have, passport book or passport card is good for this sailing, no problem. If you're out of the country, just again bring your passport. If you have a residence card, then you could just bring that, and that'll act just like your passport. So let me see. Oh, when you're printing your luggage tags and your boarding pass, you don't have to get fancy. You don't have to make it in color. A lot of times us first-time cruisers, want to have a nice little keepsake, right? So you print it real nice and pretty. It's gonna get messed up. So so just print it. If you want to print it in color, you certainly can. You don't have to. Now, don't print it front and back. Make sure that it's just one-sided and that each individual person carries their own boarding pass, because each individual person will be having to scan it. If for some reason you get to the terminal and you're like, all of a sudden I can't find my boarding pass, then you'll be able to just get it reprinted there at the terminal. You don't have to worry about, oh no, I don't have access to a computer or a printer or whatever. Don't worry about it. Again, keep the stress level down. The luggage tags, those also don't need to be fancy printed or anything. Now, I do recommend to print those in color, just because it makes it a lot easier for when the porters are carrying your luggage. They'll know what deck it's on, because not only does it say the deck number on the luggage tag, it also has the differing colors based upon what deck you're on. Now, with that in mind, I personally check in on my luggage. Our rooms are not ready till about 1 or 1:30 p.m. So I don't want to mess with luggage. If you want to take all your luggage with you, you can. But just remember, you're going to be going through lunch and lines and all these people everybody's trying to get on with all your luggage. So I recommend checking it all in. Just, give the porters $2, for a tip per each item of luggage that you have, and I'm sure they'll greatly appreciate that. But I drop all my stuff off, and then I just have my carry-on. In my carry-on is going to be all my documents that I need, all my sailing documents, which means passport, your ID card, birth certificate, and then as well as your any medications, if you want to change of clothes. There's no set time that your luggage will be delivered to your cabin, so you definitely want to have, a few comforts, medications. You definitely want to have those on you because the luggage may take a while to get to you. As well as another tip is I would make a copy of your birth certificate and even boarding pass, and if you want to throw it in your luggage, that way if your luggage gets lost somewhere, they can kind of be able to find you and see where you're at and still be able to deliver it to you in case the luggage tags fall off from the outside. You can purchase those plastic, you can just go on Amazon, purchase those plastic little holders for your luggage tags, or you can even just fold it and get some packaging tape and put it on your luggage. It'll all work. You don't have to get fancy. You can do however you want to make it work. Just make sure that you do have it labeled with your cabin number and your deck number. So now I had mentioned the online check-in. When you're doing your online check-in, one important thing that you'll also be doing is you'll be selecting if you want to do a cash account or a card account. So the ship is a cashless system. Everything that you purchase is going to be on a sailing sign card, and that's what you're going to use to go into your cabin, to get on and off the ship, as well as any purchases that you make. So what'll happen is at the very end of the cruise, you'll have a statement and it'll show all the different expenses and charges that were made. And then that way you'll just be able to, settle your account at the end of the cruise and you're good to go. Now, one thing to take into consideration, if you want to place a card, I would recommend a credit card. There is a temporary hold or authorization hold that's placed on your credit card. And typically the card is a lot quicker and faster for it to be kind of released at the end. The debit cards usually take a little bit longer to release the hold. So unless you absolutely need can only use your debit card, if that's your only choice, fine. But just keep in mind that at the end, whenever they release that pre-authorization hold, it may take a little bit longer for your funds to be back into your account. Now, you also have the option to place cash on your account. The way this works is, say you put $100 on your account. Once you get to your $100 of spending, then you'll be prompted, you won't be able to spend anymore, and you'll be prompted to go add more funds to your account. You can do that at guest services on the ship, which I believe on the Jubilee, the guest services is on deck 8. And then there's also some kiosks. There's different kiosks where you can print your statement, view your statement, add money to your account. And then let me see what else regarding that. Oh, so let's just say you're traveling with kids, and remember, the sailing sign card is also for getting into the cabins, but also for purchasing, right? So if you're gonna let your kids wander, you may want to make sure if you're gonna authorize them to spend on your account, or if you're not gonna authorize them to spend on the account. So you know your kids best, so you do what you wanna do and what works best. Or I don't know, if you don't wanna authorize your spouse on there. But either way, it'll all be good, it'll work out. Let me see, what do we have else? Again, I mentioned the parking. the parking's not a big deal. If you want to also get an Uber, you can get an Uber. If you want to get a friend, somebody to just drop you off if you're local, that'll work too. We've done all of the above. So let's keep looking at embarkation. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause this here